welcome to a new show by Indicio. I'm your host, Tim Spring, and today I'm joined by several of Indicio's team members with several different specialties, and we're here to dig into all aspects of the latest product, which is Proven Sandbox on Google Cloud. Before we get started, I'd like to go around the call and have everyone introduce themselves briefly. Can you please start us off, Shar?
Sure, absolutely. Thanks, Tim. I'm a software engineer at Indicio, working in the Hyperledger Aries and Indy space. I'm coordinating Indicio Academy, and I'm also involved in the decentralized identity open source community as co-chair of the Hyperledger Identity Special Interest Group, as well as the Hyperledger Indy Contributors Working Group.
Hi, I'm Mike Ebert. I'm the enterprise team lead at Indicio. That means I manage the team that's responsible for creating Proven Sandbox.
Hey everyone, I'm James Schulte. I'm Vice President of Business Development here at Indicio, and I help organizations all over get connected with the resources they need to get their products and solutions to market.
Hi, my name's Lynn Bendixson. I'm the Director of Network Operations. I help to make sure our networks keep running and help with operations and delivery of products like the one we're going to talk about today.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I appreciate you all taking some time to be with me here today. So to jump in, would one of you be able to give me a brief kind of product overview of what exactly Proven Sandbox is?
Sure, I'd be happy to do that. So we're really excited about Proven Sandbox. It's essentially a testing playground for open source verifiable credentials. It's great for developers, research and development teams, innovation departments, other groups that are looking to work with a proof of concept or testing environment, to get started with verifiable credentials. It's a super easy way to get moving quickly and testing and playing around with the technology to figure out different use cases or value propositions for new products or enhancing current products with verifiable credentials. So there's lots that you can do with it. So essentially a testing environment to get started.
Sounds good. So if you could dig into that a little bit, what problem did Indicio set out to solve with Sandbox, and how does it being on Google Cloud affect the solution and kind of the offering there?
So having it in Google Cloud makes it easier for organizations to quickly spin it up, and they can use their existing GCP account, and especially if they have credits, it's a great way to take advantage of using resources that they already have to get the right environment spun up to start using it. The problem that we were looking to solve was creating a simple way for organizations to quickly get started without having to go through the heavy lifting of building their own components to start testing with. So by providing essentially an out-of-the-box solution with the components pre-configured, available in the cloud to have spun up, in 15 to 30 minutes and get started makes it ideal for teams who don't want to have to use a bunch of resources where they wouldn't necessarily have to.
One big difference between Proven and other solutions is that it's not a platform that you have to subscribe to and have through one particular company forever. It's a solution that you can install on your own account or hardware, and that you take control and ownership of if you'd like. And so this shows people how they could do that. To have it set up is something that is their very own setup.
The setup of Sandbox is quite complex if you do it outside of Google Cloud, and Google Cloud makes it tons easier, and we'll show you that a little bit later in this video.
All right, awesome. No, I appreciate it, and that's kind of cool that, yeah, like you said, Mike, you can kind of own it, for lack of a better term, as opposed to subscribe to it. I understand we actually have a demo of kind of what Proven Sandbox looks like and can walk through the technology. Would one of you be able to share your screen and take us away with that?
All right, so let's do a walkthrough of some of what the Proven Sandbox has to offer. So we're going to have two screens here. We've got the enterprise software and the browser tabs on the left, and we're using Holder Plus, which is on the right, as our mobile agent and wallet. So first thing to do is we're going to show issuing a credential through Proven Sandbox. So we're going to log in to the admin. So we're going to add admin to the URL string here. And then we'll put in our username and password. Helps if you type it right. Here we go. So Proven Sandbox offers 3 credentials for people to get to know how Proven Sandbox works and to kind of play with a couple different things that you can do. So we can try a driver's license, an employment credential, or an email credential. So today I'm going to do a driver's license. So we'll click the issue button. And then with our mobile agent, such as Holder, we're going to scan this QR code. This allows the 2 agents to connect to one another. And then, so you can see the contact come up on my mobile agent on the right. And then we get a form that we can fill out with the details of the driver's license credential on the left. And for convenience, we have some presets that you can select from to quickly populate some test information. Or you can go through and type in each credential that you'd like manually. So we're just going to quickly drop in option number 1 for Sarah Doe. And there's just some information here. We'll go ahead and send that credential. And then the offer shows up in our mobile agent. So we're going to go ahead and review these fields. And you can see we've got some images encoded in the body here. We'll go ahead and accept that. All right, so now we have the credential in our wallet. There we go, our driver's license. So that's one of the first parts of the workflow that you can do with Proven Sandbox is to connect and issue a credential. So now we're going to switch to the other enterprise agent, and we're going to verify this credential. Next, we're going to show how to verify the credential that we issued. So we've switched to our other browser tab where we have the verifier software running. And we're going to connect again with the QR code here. And as soon as the folder is connected to the verifier agent, the browser tab updates to show us a drop-down that allows us to select which credential to verify. So we'll go ahead and select the driver's license credential. And we receive that proof request on our mobile agent. And we can preview which fields are being asked for. So the driver's license is configured to use selective disclosure to only ask for a couple of the dozen or so fields that were in the credential. The email credential also uses selective disclosure. And then the employment credential is a full disclosure so that you can kind of compare and contrast the experience with those different sets of attributes requested and whether it's full or selective. And then when you complete your presentation, if you'd like, or if you have multiple credentials, you can go ahead and jump right into verifying more of them. If I ask for ones I don't have, then the mobile agent will throw us an error and nothing new will happen on the enterprise agent. So we won't bother with that today. So I'm going to go back to the control panel where I'm logged in just to show people some other things that they can kind of look at for using Proven Sandbox and getting to know things. So you have the invitation screen, which allows you to use the invitations creation dialog here and work with the settings and get used to how that works. Create some invitations of different types that you can use with your other agents. You have a list of contacts that show the people who have the contacts that have connected to your system, whether they be individuals or organizations. You have a list of credentials that have been issued, and you can go in and look at the details. So we can see the Sarah Doe credential that we just issued. You can look at the presentations and see the data that were shared with this agent. You can get used to managing the users and adding or creating new ones that people that you want to access this control panel. You can look at the default set of settings, such as logos and icons, SMTP configuration for the email system, and then some colors. So you could play with customizing how Proven looks. There's a list of schemas that are the systems configured to issue. And then you can look at the governance editor and work at creating a governance file. You can download it and save it to this database. And then you can also load that file up into the governance side of things and test and see how governance works. And then there's the help screen. So those are all the actual functionalities that are in Proven, and you get to preview all of them.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that demonstration there, Mike. Very much appreciated. Would you be able to tell us a little bit more about, the difference between Sandbox and like the full iteration of Proven?
All right, I'll take this one. So as we saw in Mike's demonstration there, you can see that there's three examples of credentials that you could use in an ecosystem. Sandbox is a good reference point of what you could do with a full Proven ecosystem later on. Sandbox is meant mostly for training and development and learning. So after you get past that initial training period in Sandbox and upgrade to a full Proven ecosystem, you have that flexibility beyond the license for Sandbox into a full Proven, where you can do additional customization. You can add in new credentials. There's a lot more that you can do in a Proven ecosystem, whereas Sandbox is intended mostly just for testing purposes and training and learning for teams who are looking to get started. Proven Sandbox is that comes with introductory pricing, again, for that initial training period before getting into production.
All right. So yeah, you definitely mentioned, the focus on learning there. And Char, I know this comes with some version of the Indicio Academy program. Would you be able to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Indicio Academy is the platform for learning about decentralized identity technologies and trusted digital ecosystems. And so you can take the series of courses in the certification program, and you take a short exam after each course that allows you to receive a credential that you can show off on your LinkedIn and resume. So Indicio Academy is a really unique offering for learning about this technology that has the power to transform the way that we interact on the internet. So we're really excited about it. It exists to help you with the learning alongside the testing that you get to do with Sandbox to be successful in talking about and building this technology. So it's a really good resource for Sandbox customers to take advantage of, so that you can test out how things work with Sandbox and also get the background knowledge and really deep understanding through Indicio Academy and the different certifications that we offer.
All right. Could you talk a little bit about, right, you mentioned you can get certified. Could you talk a bit about the different kinds of certifications you can get and the different kinds of trainings you can take?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are currently offering 3 different certifications. So there's the Core Trusted Digital Ecosystems certification. This takes about 3 hours. It has 3 modules to give you the foundational knowledge of decentralized identity and verifiable credentials that you'll need to understand the rest of the modules. And so you'll learn about the issuer and verifier software. So a bit of an introduction to the tech side, and then also how to communicate decentralized identity and communicate its value and how it works to customers and other stakeholders. And so this core trusted digital ecosystem certification is a prerequisite for the other 2, which get more specialized between the technical and business side. So we've got the trusted digital ecosystems business professional certification. That takes about 2 hours and dives into the business applications for particular market verticals, as well as the governance side. So talking about the different kinds of governance and how they apply to trusted digital ecosystems. And then on the technical side, we have the Trusted Digital Ecosystems Technical Professional Certification, where you'll learn about the mobile holder agent and that user privacy and control piece, as well as learning how to run demos to showcase this technology. So we've built the program so that it's useful for people in all sorts of different roles, whether that's executives, senior managers, marketing, development, all sorts of things. So there's something for everybody to learn.
All right, that's awesome. That sounds super useful for this kind of package. And I understand that it also comes with some level of technical assistance to, help you get started and make sure that you kind of know what's going on. Would one of you be able to tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I can help with that. Of course, we're more than willing to help with getting things installed and configured for you so that your experience will work for you and you have a chance to try things out. And so whatever it takes to get to that after you've purchased the proven Sandbox. We'll also answer some basic questions and help with some of the basics of the technology and the terminology and helping you get going with that. And we can also help with pointing at some community resources if you have needs there. And then of course we have the Academy offerings that Shara just talked about. If you need more detailed or more intensive guidance and help.
Sounds good. So what kind of customer or projects would really be recommended for Sandbox?
Yeah, I can take this one. The organizations that we've seen that have really been interested in this and liked using this so far are especially research and development teams, teams that are tinkering with a business case that they have in mind, and they're looking to start a POC, and they need off-the-shelf pieces that they can quickly get up and going to test their use case out. Larger organizations sometimes have digital identity labs where they're working specifically on identity use cases, and they're looking at emerging technologies or newer technologies to solve their identity-related business challenges. And so they find Proven Sandbox to be a quick way to do that. But really, I think it's great for any organization that has a case in mind and are looking to get their team trained and get a good understanding of the technology before diving into something that's ready for production. So good starting point, good launching point for teams of all kinds.
Nice. Well, I do understand we actually have a demonstration of kind of how to get started. Lynn, would you mind sharing your screen and showing us that?
Yep, I am all ready to go on that. So the getting started guide is the first place that you need to go to here. We need to, if you have any trouble finding these instructions, just send me a quick email, support@indicio.tech, and ask for the Google Cloud Marketplace instructions for installing Proven, and I can get you these instructions. And so what I've tried to do here is kind of made it a little smaller on my right here so we can look at the instructions as we go through here and show you exactly how quick and easy it is to go through these instructions to get yourself an instance of Proven Sandbox up and running. So we start with a brand new project in Google Cloud. So I just barely set that up, and I had to accept the using the Compute Engine API. That takes a little bit of time, so I did that while we were waiting. The next step here says to click Create Instance, and so we're going to create a brand new instance, and then we're going to go to the Marketplace and find Proven up here. And here's our Indicio Proven Sandbox right out there. And then next we're just going to click launch to begin the configuration process here and getting things going. There's a few APIs that are enabled. If you have a brand new project, you do this once. And it takes just a minute for these to come out or come up. And then once that comes up, we'll just scroll down here a little bit so we can keep going. So there's just a few things to fill in here if you want to change them. If you want to change what zone you're in, or if you want to do a different name for your thing, that's okay. I'm just going to mostly use the defaults here, though. The instructions are pretty clear on how to change these things, and the things that are set here are the minimum requirements, and they should work just fine for you for your sample that you're setting up for yourself. And then down here in the network interfaces, you may want to change that to a more of a static IP address instead of a what'll happen is you'll get a non-static one if you just do the defaults. But for this example, we'll just use the a non-static IP address. I'll just kind of point that out for you there. And so that's pretty much all there is to getting the initial part set up and deployed here. There are a few other things you have to do to get things going. And since it takes a minute to do it here, we're going to switch over to one that I've already started on setting up. And we'll show you the next step here. Right here, it shows clicking on the name of the of your VM that you just created, and then scrolling down in this edit box there, clicking edit. Sorry, I haven't done that yet. Click edit. And then what we have to do is we have to scroll down in here to where these guys are set up. And I've missed this a few times, and so I want to make sure and highlight that you have to allow HTTP and HTTPS traffic inside of your instance for Proven to be able to run. So we scroll down there, save that configuration, and then when you get out of that, you'll need to record the IP address, your public IP address, for later use. So back here in the Indicio Proven Sandbox 2, you'll see your external IP address sitting right over here. And the instance is on its way to running already. So we'll go back to the instructions over here. And what you might want to do is add a DNS entry. That's not required. What we'll be showing you today in the instructions is the way to do it without a DNS entry. But for a better demo, you might want to do that. The next thing you need to do is you need to configure something called reCAPTCHA. And this is critical for the ability to run your instance there. So we'll quickly show you how that works. I think we've used this portal before, so we'll need to click this plus icon here. Is what it says there, to be able to create a new reCAPTCHA. Then we're going to label this. I think we'll just use the same label that we've been using, and we'll call it 2 in this case. And then what does it say over here? We need to do reCAPTCHA V2, which is this one. And then we're going to click on invisible reCAPTCHA badge, like it says here. And then we're going to enter the IP address or the domain name. So we had just saved that earlier, but I didn't copy that yet. So we'll just go right here, copy that IP address back over to reCAPTCHA, paste that in there, and then submit. And now we have a site key and a secret key for reCAPTCHA that we'll just leave that in that window instead of saving it somewhere for ease of use here in this case. So that's it. That's all you have to do for reCAPTCHA. And then we need to go and start the configuration of the virtual machine itself. So we'll go in here and we click on this SSH to get into that virtual machine. And then what we'll be doing is we'll be running some of these commands. So I just grab this one here to start it. It's a couple of commands to get the instance running and do the configuration. So there we go. Just paste in those commands that we have here. We're going to copy. There's a couple different configuration things that are available in here. And so we're copying the live configuration for our running of Docker here. And then we're copying what's called the dev.env file over to env. And the reason we're doing that is because the default for Sandbox is to use Indicio's testnet. So all of your devices and agents and stuff will all need to be set up to use the Indicio testnet for this all to work in the end. And so that's what we have here. We have the as for this side of it, that's the way to get the testnet stuff set. And so now we're going to edit the env file that we just copied over to have all of our information in it that we need to get this running. And this there's just a few items here that need to change so that they are configured to point to the virtual machine that you just made. And so here we are at the top of the file. The defaults are to go to localhost, but that won't work in this case. We need to add in our oops, I didn't still have that IP address. So we just go grab that IP address really quick here. See if we can get that without losing our stuff. So here's the IP address again of our virtual machine. And that's what needs to go into all of our server names and a few other places. So we just go through down this list here and make sure we make a change on all of those names that are listed in that list. There are other configuration things inside of this file that can be changed to do a variety of different things. But what we've listed in this part of the document is just kind of a quick start thing. So give you all the quick start stuff and show you how to get started quickly. So as you see here, this Genesis URL is pointing at the testnet. And as I mentioned earlier, it's important to note that the governance path doesn't need to change. It says localhost on it. We keep that the same. The next thing that's down here that we need to change, these seeds are all, there's some instructions later on that tell you how to do it with a it will build a brand new seed for you for the final setup type of stuff. And we might not get to that far in this video, but leaving these blanks means you'll need to run that extra step. And I'll show you that extra step in the document later, even if we don't go through it in our video. So the next thing we need to change here is the issuer web root right here, where it says localhost. We need to put in our IP address here as well. The next thing we need to do is copy in our reCAPTCHA keys here that we got from when we set up reCAPTCHA. So we'll just grab our reCAPTCHA keys and put those into these two places. One funny thing about these reCAPTCHA keys is that the first several characters look like they're the same, but these are actually two different keys here. So grab the two different keys, copy the site key and the secret key in here. And then we're at the verifier web root as the next thing. And we need to go back and grab the IP address again, since I copied those reCAPTCHA keys down here to the verifier web root. And here we're taking off that that extra port that's on the end as well, and just putting in the IP address. There's an example of all of the different configuration options and explanation of them at the end of this document in an appendix. We also have to do the reCAPTCHA keys here. Could have done those when I copied them and put them in both places before. We'll do it the long way right now because that's where we're at. And this is the last thing in the list. Okay, so we've saved that configuration file now that we've saved it. And again, the instructions here mentioned there's an appendix B that has more, an example configuration file and some more explanation about what each of those steps are. So now we're ready just to start it and get it up and going here. And this process takes about 5 to 7 minutes for it to run. And once that's up and running, besides the little thing that I talked about where you need to do create and anchor your own issuer did, we are to the place where you should be able to bring up a web browser with that IP address in it and see what Mike was showing you earlier in the video. So that's all I had, Tim, for the getting started quickly.
Awesome. Thanks, Lynn. Looks fairly quick. Yeah, and I appreciate your introduction and demonstration for us. It looks like we are coming to the end of our time together, but does anyone have any last thoughts for anyone, considering the Proven Sandbox through Google Cloud?
Yeah, I would just say, please feel free to reach out. You can contact us through the website, and we'd be happy to set up a demo for you and help you get set up with Proven Sandbox.